Hello and welcome to this video. This video is intended for students in Essential Math 40S, and we're hoping to shed a little bit of light on the weird process that is the beginning of property tax, what an assessed value is as compared to a portioned assessed value, and how a municipality would calculate what they're going to charge for a property tax rate. We'll start with an assessed value. What happens is if you live in a property, let's say this is your property right here. An assessor from the city or from the municipality will come by and they will take a look not only at your house and your yard, but they'll take a look at the other houses on the street. They'll take a look at where you're located in the city. They'll take a look at what amenities are close. They'll take a look at anything that might hurt your property value. And then they're going to come up with a price that they think is fair market value, which means if you were motivated to sell, say you got a job in another city and you had to move in a month and you had to sell your house right away, the number they come up with should be the amount of money that you would be willing to sell your house for if you were motivated to sell. Okay, so for this property here, let's say the assessor comes by and says it has a fair market value of $230,000. Okay, you actually want this number to be as low as possible because they're going to base how much taxes you pay off of the value of your house. So the lower the value from the assessor, the lower taxes you'll pay. If they go too high, you're going to pay more taxes. And you can actually, when you get the letter, and you'll get one about every 4 years when they reassess, they'll send you a letter and tell you what the assessed value of your house is. If you think it's too high, they typically have meetings that you can go to and make an argument for why you don't think it should be that high. Remember, you're not locking in to sell your house for this amount. If the assessor assesses your house at $230,000, you could still sell it for $1 million if you could find somebody to buy it. This is just an estimate of what your house is worth. Now, before they figure out how much property tax to charge you, they calculate what's called the portioned assessed value. So the assessed value is the $230,000, we'll use that from the previous page, that your house was assessed at. A portion is a piece of something. Like if you have a portion of ham, you're having a little bit of ham. If you're having a portion of cake, you're having a piece of cake. They're only going to tax you on a piece of your assessed value or a portion of your assessed value. Currently in Winnipeg, the portion percentage for houses, residential homes, is 45%. This is not a tax rate. Okay, and again, the higher this percentage is, the more it helps you. What they do is they take your assessed value, whatever it may have been, and they multiply it by the portion percentage for your type of property. So in this case, that would be 45%. Your teacher will talk more about portion percentages. Farms right now are at 30%. There's different percentages for different types of property. So when they do that calculation, $230,000 times 45%, you get $103,500. That amount of money is called your portioned assessed value. This is the taxable taxable amount of the value of your property. They will use that to charge you tax. The reason they do this is to charge certain types of properties more tax and certain types of properties less tax in order to encourage growth in some areas and attempt to stifle growth in other areas. Finally, the municipality has to come up with what it's going to charge for a mill rate. There's a formula that you'll have on your formula sheet. This is what, say, the city of Winnipeg would do every year. They would come up with a budget amount that they would require to do everything in the municipality, like snow clearing, run the libraries, open the pools, paint lines on the streets, and on and on and on and on. They come up with a budget, and then they divide what they need from that budget by the total of all the portioned assessments in the city. And what that does is it'll tell them what to charge for a mill rate on every property in that city in order to make up the amount they need for their budget. So for example, and I'm just making this up, let's say a municipality needs to have $100 million budget required. And their total portioned assessments are, I don't know, let's say let me see if I can count, $1,598,000,000 in total portioned assessments. And this calculation typically will involve very big numbers, okay, and then times 1,000 at the end. Okay, a quick way to do this on your calculator, you see on the bottom I've got 6 zeros. If I take the 6 zeros off the bottom, I can take 6 zeros off the top, and then I only have to press less keys. I only have to type in 100 divided by 1598 and then times 1,000. What I get is 62.58, rounding to 2 decimal places. This is not a percentage, this is a mill rate. Your teacher will discuss mill rates with you. A mill rate is an amount out of 1,000, meaning every $1,000 of portioned assessed value your house has, you'll pay $62 in tax. In percent, it would be 6.25 or 6.26%. Okay. Once the city knows the mill rate, they can go ahead and start charging property tax. You will see the calculation of a property tax bill in another video. The link to that video is below this video. So if you want to continue looking at how property taxes work, I would recommend going and taking a look at that next video. Thanks for watching.